Now we start with some breaking news from the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Hungary's foreign minister, Péter Szijjártó, says he has offered his country as a location for peace negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. The announcement comes as, according to reports, Russian attacks on Ukraine's western city of Lviv kills one person and injures two. Ukraine's Air Force reports one of the heaviest overnight bombardments in months. Officials say Russia launched 574 drones and 40 missiles in a massive wave of attacks targeting cities and infrastructure. Kiev says most of the drones were intercepted, however, but damage and casualties are still being assessed. We are now joined by Shruti Dasgupta, who's an international affairs expert. She joins us live from the Indian capital to discuss this further. Shruti, news of Hungary offering as a country for this trilateral meeting and talks with Russian and Ukrainian officials. Why has Hungary been chosen, or has offered its services for negotiations for this conflict?
Greetings. Thank you so much for inviting me. I understand that Hungary's stance towards the entire Ukraine-Russia conflict is a little complex. While it openly condemns the violence and the war that is occurring in Ukraine, it also condemns the European Union for its stance on Ukraine and NATO. So it has maintained a stance which is walking the middle path on this particular war, which is quite unique on its own. So I understand that it offering itself up as a place where this kind of a negotiation happens, it shows that they understand the nuances of this war much clearer than any other European nation. Let's say for France or UK or Germany, they are more pro-Ukraine aligned and more pro-EU stance and NATO stance aligned than Hungary itself. So when Hungary offers itself up, it also understands that while it's condemning the war, it does not unilaterally, univocally support EU stance on the Ukraine war. So it is an important nation where probably neutrality can be guaranteed during any kind of peace conversations.
Yeah, Shruti, and a huge barrage of Russian attacks into Ukrainian territory has been reported. 574 drones and 40 missiles, with, of course, casualties and damage being assessed still. Looking at the ground, how do you analyse what's going on in terms of aerial assaults on Ukrainian territory and how the war is going with the backdrop of the grand diplomatic efforts going forward?
The diplomatic efforts are walk a separate path from what is happening exactly on ground as of now. While we tend to focus on Ukraine more because the invasion is occurring on Ukrainian soil, we do not focus on how Ukraine kind of provokes these attacks. In my last interview with you, I had pointed out that while there were attacks in Sumy and the other regions, Ukraine was hitting out at Russian oil tankers across the Caspian Sea. They were attacking the Russian soils as well. So it's a back and forth of aerial attacks, and drone has become the new language of violence in the current modern era of warfare. So this is while Russia, of course, is a larger nation with more resources available, Ukraine, despite its smaller size, is supported by a very large European Union. So they are also supplying a large amount of ammunition, aid, loans to ensure that the war doesn't come to an end, or at least Putin doesn't get a walkthrough in this entire war. So the back and forth of these missiles are a way of showing power that they have relevance on the talking table and cannot be rubbished. Whether it is Putin or Zelensky, they're coming from a point of power when they try and showcase these attacks.
Yes, Shruti, do stay with us. We move on to further updates from the European conflict. US Vice President J.D. Vance says Europe must